Good morning, scholars and families. Welcome back to another week of guided reading with Miss Rossi. I want to welcome you to this awesome week that we're going to be doing of learning and fun. We're going to play some games. We're going to read some new stories. So make sure you're watching these videos every day, just like you have been, hopefully, and keep up the good work. I want to show you that today Miss Rossi is wearing a Syracuse shirt. Remember, UC friends might know that Miss Rossi went to the college Syracuse, which is in New York, and I wore this shirt today to inspire or encourage you to keep working hard so that one day you can be such a good reader and you can go to high school and college and get a job like most adults do, okay? So I want to wear this so that you friends are thinking, oh, I'm growing my brain so that I can go to second grade, I can go to sixth grade and eighth grade and high school and college, because you have to be able to read to do those things, okay, friends? So we're gonna get started today with some new strategies. And when we do our strategies today, we are going to be doing some new things that you might remember from our classroom, and you might not have ever done those before, and that's okay. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're gonna look at some pictures that we have from the weekend and from last week. First up, we have Mr. Jaden Carter, who is working so hard on his literacy packet. He sent this picture into his teachers, and I want to shout him out for being so focused, working so hard, even though he's learning at home. Great job. Next, we have Leonardo, who is doing his math packet. Notice Leonardo has a crayon, he has a pencil, he has his headphones on because he's listening to Miss Javadi's video and doing his math work along with the video. So awesome job to Jaden, awesome job to Leonardo. Keep up your hard work. Then the last picture, it's kind of small, but if you look closely, you can see Miss Rossi, who's having a virtual lunch bunch with my Sean, Charles, and Brooklyn Chambers, because they completed all of their work last week. They watched all of the YouTube videos, they did all of their Zern, all of their Lexia, and so they got to eat lunch with Miss Rossi over video. Now we're gonna do some more of those things, and we're gonna keep shouting out friends who are working really, really hard and getting all of their work done. So get all of your work done, and you can come to a virtual lunch bunch too, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started with some new strategies. Now, we are not going to practice reading through the word this week because you friends already know how to read through the word. We practiced that for 2 weeks now, and so today you are gonna read through the word all by yourself. Miss Rossi is not going to help you find your blends, ends, and vowel teams. You are going to use that smart brain of yours, and if you get stuck on a word, you're going to look for your blends, ends, and vowel teams. You're going to look for your excellent, and then you're going to read every single sound. You're going to read, yes, you're going to read every single sound when you get stuck on a word. And if you get stuck, that's okay. Use the strategy to help you. The most important thing we're going to be doing today is making inferences. We're going to make. Now remember, an inference is a guess that's based on two things. So we're going to make guesses or inferences based on text evidence. It's based on and schema. And now remember, text evidence is when we look at our pictures and our words. We look at our. So to find text evidence in our book today, you're going to need to look at the pictures and the words to use for your text evidence. You also are going to use your schema. Remember, schema is what you know. Schema is, excellent job. Schema is what you know about something. It's all that smart knowledge that you have inside your head. Now, we are also going to continue to use our sentence stem, our juicy sentence stem, which says, in the story I read blank, you're going to give your text evidence. You're going to give your. So that makes me think, and then you're going to make an inference, and then you're going to make a. All right, so our sentence stem is, in the story I read blank, so that makes me think blank. Now remember, in our stories, the author or the writer of the book might not tell us everything about a character. So we need to make a guess, we need to make a about how a character might be feeling or why a character might be doing something. So today we're going to talk about character feelings. We're going to talk about, now the way that we represent with our hands character feelings is we say character feelings. All right, do it with me. Put your hands straight out. Character feelings. Get ready, do it with me. Character feelings. One more time. Character feelings. Yes, character feelings is the way that a character feels inside in their heart. That's why we're putting our hands on our hearts when we say character feelings, because you might feel something from your heart. So a character feeling tells how a character feels in a story. And we can also use the sentence stem, in the story I read blank, So that makes me think blank. For example, if a character is hiding behind a tree, I might say, in the story I read that the character is hiding behind the tree. So that makes me think, ooh, get ready for my inference. That makes me think the character is scared. Do you think a character is scared if they're hiding behind the tree? Show connection if you agree. Excellent, nice job. If a character is crying in the story, I might say, in the story I read, that the character is crying. So that makes me think that the character is unhappy or sad or disappointed. So we're going to use this sentence then to talk about character feelings to talk about. Now on this anchor chart, we have a whole bunch of different character feelings that you can use. Now you guys might remember in our classrooms in UC and DePaul, we have feelings anchor charts in our classrooms. Feelings like jealous, surprised, anxious, embarrassed, tired, unhappy, brave, confused, thoughtful, proud, annoyed, nervous. So these are the character feelings that we're going to talk about. Now, you also might remember that we read a whole book in Wit and Wisdom called Feelings. So we know what character feelings are, and you don't have to just use the words on these lists. You can use any character feeling word that you think is appropriate for the book. Okay, so we're going to get started today thinking about how the characters in our new book feel. Today we're reading a book called Cool as Kook. It's called Cool as Kook. It's called. Now in this book we have a lot of character names that are kind of tricky, so I want you to try your best. Listen to me first. The main character's name is Kook. His name is. We also have a character named Uzzle. His name is. All right, so we have Kook and Uzzle, and we have a couple more characters' names that you should be able to read through the words. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Cool as Kook. Pause your video. Remember, you can use the big space bar or you can press the pause button. Pause your video and read this page now. Let's go to the next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Let's go to the next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Let's go to the next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Let's go to the next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Let's go to the next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Let's go to the next page. Before you pause, raise your hand if you've been reading through the words in this book. Good job. Raise your hand if you made a mistake, but you fixed it. Good job. Raise your hand if you found a blend and or a vowel team already. Excellent job. Okay, go ahead and pause your video and read page 10. Let's go to the next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Let's go to the next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Let's go to the next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Next page. Pause your video and read this page now. Great job reading through those pages in the book. I hope that you read through the word. I hope that you didn't guess, and I hope that you were actually reading the book, because if you actually did that, then your brain got a whole lot bigger. Excellent job. Okay, let's get ready for some questions. All right, on the first page, I want you to answer this question. How do the other characters feel about Kook coming to visit? I'm asking about a character feeling. I'm asking about A. So I want you to look at the pictures and the words and think about how do the characters feel inside about Kook who comes to visit. Miss Rossi drew an arrow to show you that Kook is the green character. So I want you to look at the other characters and look at the words to tell me how do they feel about Kook coming to visit. Pause your video and answer that question now. You should have said, in the story, I see that the other characters are smiling. So that makes me think that they're excited for Kook to visit, or they're happy to have a new friend. Let's see what happens on the next page, though. How does Bonk feel about Kook coming to visit? How does Bonk feel about Kook coming to visit? Bonk is this one over here with the red. How does Bonk feel about Kook coming to visit? Pause your video and use a character feeling word now. You should have said Bonk is not excited about Kook coming to visit, or Bonk doesn't like Kook, or Bonk is worried about Kook. Very nice job with those character feelings words. Let's go ahead to the next page. What happens when Kook races? Pause your video and answer what happens when Kook races. You should have said when Kook races, he wins every time. Kook always wins the races. Let's go to the next page. Why do Uzzle, Lurk, and Snag dress like Kook? Why do they dress like Kook? Pause your video and make an inference now. In the story, I read that they wear the same clothes as Kook. There's my text evidence. Now get ready for my inference. So in the story, the characters wear the same clothes as Kook. So that makes me think that they want to be like Kook, or they like Kook, or the characters admire Kook. If you use the word admire, I want to give you 100 gold stars because we learned about that word admire during our Kids Cinderella stories. So really nice job if that's the word that you chose. They admire Kook, or they like Kook, or they want to be like Kook. Let's go to the next page. Why does Bonk not want to play with Kook? Why doesn't Bonk want to play with Kook? Pause your video and make your inference now. In the story, I read that Bonk does not want to play with Kook, and he says, who needs Kook? So that makes me think that he doesn't like him, or maybe he is jealous that his friends are playing with Kook and not with him. So he does not like him, he dislikes him, he is annoyed by him, or maybe he is jealous of Kook. Awesome job if you got those questions right, or used your inference sentence them. Let's go to the next page. Why does Kook say, where am I? Why does Kook say, where am I? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I see that Kook was going like this. So that makes me think that he is confused or lost about where he is. He says, where am I? So that makes me think that he doesn't know where he's going. Excellent job if you got that question right. Let's move on. Why does everyone have to look for Kook? Pause your video and answer, why does everyone have to look for Kook? In the story, I read that everyone looks for Kook. So that makes me think, well, I'm using my schema and thinking about what I know when everybody is looking for something. So in the story, I read that everyone looks for Kook. So that makes me think that he is lost and nobody can find him. Good job with your inference. Let's go ahead to the next page. Why does Bonk need to help find Kook? Why does Bonk need to help find Kook? Pause your video and answer the question now. In the story, I read that Bonk has to that Snag says Bonk knows all the streets and he knows the way. So that makes me think that they need Bonk's help to find Kook because Bonk knows the streets and he knows where to go to find him. So Bonk knows where to look to find Kook, and that is why Bonk has to help find him. Nice job with your answer for your inferential question. Let's go ahead to the next one. What do the characters say to Bonk to get him to help them find Kook? What do the characters say to get him to find Kook? Go ahead and pause your video and answer the question now. In the story, I read that they ask him or beg him, please help us find Kook because you know the way and you know the streets, and they tell him that they really need him. Next question for this page. How does Bonk feel when the characters ask him to help? Pause your video and answer the question now. In the picture, I see that Bonk is going like this. with his mouth open and his eyebrows lifted. So that makes me think that Bonk is surprised. He is surprised that his friends are asking for help. Nice character feeling question. Next question. Why do you think Bonk helps his friends? Why do you think Bonk helps his friends? Pause your video and answer the question now. In the story I read that Bonk says, I will help you. So that makes me think that Bonk is being kind to his friends, or he wants to help his friends because he is a nice person. Great job. Next question. What does Bonk do? What does Kook do when he sees Bonk? Pause your video and answer the question now. When Kook sees Bonk, he gives him a big monster hug. That answer comes right from the text. He gives him a big monster hug. Nice job. Let's go to the next page. How do Bonk and Kook feel at the end of the story? How do Bonk and Kook feel at the end of the story? Pause your video and answer the question now. In the picture, I see that they are smiling, and I also see that there's an exclamation point when Kook says, thank you, Bonk. So that makes me think that Bonk and Kook are excited or proud or happy that they are together and that Kook is found. Last question is, why does Bonk say that Kook can stay for another week? Why does Bonk say that Kook can stay for another week? Pause your video and answer the question now. In the story I read that Bonk says he can stay for another week because he's just getting to know him. So that makes me think that Bonk wants to get to know Kook better, and Bonk is going to give him another chance. I know that in the beginning of the story, Bonk didn't like Kook. He thought he was maybe annoying or he was jealous. But at the end of the story, he gives him another chance so that he can get to know him. Awesome job with your inference and character feelings. My last question is my challenge question. So get ready for my challenge question. What do you think Bonk and Kook will do together tomorrow? What do you think Bonk and Kook might do together tomorrow? Pause your video and answer the question now. Okay, now we're making a prediction. We're using our schema and our text evidence to make a prediction about what we think might happen. So I think that Kook and Bonk might go on another bike ride together tomorrow, or they might play together tomorrow, or they might dress alike tomorrow, because those are all things that have happened in the story. And I see that Bonk and Kook are friends now, so I think that they might play a game together. Show me connection if you got that answer right. All right, nice job. Now, the last thing I want to say is you are doing an awesome job. Friends, it is not easy to learn how to read and learn guided reading with YouTube. And I know that you guys have a lot of work that you're doing every day. So I want to say, awesome job. I am so proud of you, and please keep up the good work. If you're starting to get annoyed or frustrated with the work, I want you to tell yourself that you can do it, and I want you to keep showing endurance and bravery, because we got to get you to second grade. And I know that you can do it because you do it every single day with Miss Rossi at school, okay? So I want to say really, really nice job. I'm really, really proud of you. And now the last thing I want to do is I want to do a cheer with you. So first I have to figure out how to stop sharing. Okay, here we go. I want to do a cheer with you. Let's do Little Engines. So remember, Little Engines is I think I can, I think I can. Choo choo, I did it. Okay, get ready. Little Engines up, back down, too slow. You got to beat me. Here we go. Little Engines up. 1, 2, I think I can, I think I can. Choo choo, I did it. Awesome job today, friends. I'll see you back here tomorrow.